Good afternoon, students. Welcome to the class. In this class, we will discuss Longmuir adsorption isotherm. What is Longmuir adsorption isotherm? First of all, we will look at history of Longmuir and its contributions to chemistry. Irving Longmuir has mostly worked on adsorption of gases. For his work on adsorption, he won the Chemistry Nobel Prize in 1932. To his contribution on the work on adsorption, a journal named Longmuir was started. Longmuir journal is in ACS publications. ACS, American Chemical Society publications, whose impact factor is almost 6. So you can imagine uh, his contribution to the chemistry. Now, according to this theory, a, a solute will be adsorbed on the surface of the solid. A solid surface is made up of equivalent adsorption sites. That means this adsorption site and this adsorption site, they are equal in all respects. That means equal, are having same characteristics. So all the adsorption sites are equivalent. Each adsorption site can adsorb one gas molecule. So each adsorption site, this adsorption site will adsorb only one molecule. This adsorption site will adsorb only one molecule. And adsorption or desorption of these sites is independent of neighboring sites. That means when this molecule is adsorbing here, it will not be influenced by neighboring adsorption site, whether it is already adsorbed or whether it is empty. It doesn't matter for this site. This site acts independently, whereas this site will also act independently. So that is why adsorption or desorption of these sites is independent of neighboring sites. Also, it is assumed that a dynamic equilibrium exists. Yeah. Also, it is assumed that a dynamic equilibrium exists between the adsorbed molecules and the free molecules. That means this free molecule and the adsorbed molecule, there will be an equilibrium between these molecules. So adsorbed molecules and non-adsorbed molecules will have an equilibrium. Now we will look at the assumptions of Longmuir adsorption isotherm. Please take the notes along with me. The adsorbed gas behaves ideally in the vapor phase. You know the characteristics of ideal gas, right? Which do two different gas molecules will not interact. And second assumption, only a monolayer, that means each and every adsorbing site will adsorb only one molecule. If all the adsorbing sites are adsorbs one molecule, then there will be a monolayer formation on the surface of the solid. Only a monolayer is formed by the adsorbed gas. That means all the binding sites will adsorb only one molecule. The surface of the solid is homogeneous. the surface of the solid is homogeneous. That means each and every binding site is same as other binding site. So they have same characteristics. All the binding sites will have same characteristics. So the surface of the solid is homogeneous so that the binding sites have the same affinity for the gas molecules. There is no lateral interaction between the adsorbate molecules. In the beginning itself, we did discuss that the adsorbed gas, adsorbate, will behave ideally. That means two gas molecules will not interact with each other. At the same time, when the gas molecules are adsorbed on a metal on a surface, when they are adsorbed on a surface, these two gas molecules will not interact with each other. So there is no lateral interaction between the adsorbed molecules. If it is adsorbed, yes, it is adsorbed at this site. It will not interact with the neighboring site. It is independent. It is independent. If all the adsorbing sites adsorbs one molecule, then it is called monolayer. It is called monolayer. What is bilayer? Bilayer means if one more adsorption takes place on the top of this, then it is called bilayer. The adsorbed gas molecules the adsorbed gas molecules are localized. Again, it is the same point. That is, they do not interact so they don't move around, they don't interact with any other site. These are the assumptions made by Longmead before explaining the theory for adsorption. We did discuss that there is an equilibrium between solute molecules adsorbed and non-adsorbed. For example, if M is the surface, M is the surface, solid surface or metal surface, and A is the gas molecules, and after adsorption, what happens? The gas molecules will be adsorbed on A. As we have discussed, there is an equilibrium between unadsorbed molecules and adsorbed gas molecules. The rate constant for adsorption is Ka and the rate constant for desorption is Kd. Rate constant for adsorption is Ka and rate constant for desorption is Kd. Here Ka rate constant for adsorption, Kd rate constant for desorption. Now let us consider the fraction of occupied adsorption sites theta as, remember, the definition of theta is very much important in understanding long mere adsorption isotherm. What is theta? Theta is the fraction of occupied adsorption sites. That means theta is equal to number of adsorption sites occupied by number of adsorption sites available or vacant. So it is a ratio of occupied sites to the available sites. We did discuss that the rate of adsorption is proportional to pressure the rate of adsorption is proportional to pressure, which is denoted by P of the gas A, and the number of vacant sites available on the surface. Amount of adsorption is proportional to pressure and the number of sites available on the surface. That is, rate of adsorption is equal to some rate constant for adsorption, that is Ka, proportional to pressure and number of available sites. If n is the total number of sites, then theta is the fraction of occupied sites. What are unoccupied sites? 1 minus theta. 1 minus theta is the fraction of empty sites. Capital N is the total number of sites capital N is the total number of sites for adsorption on the surface and out of the total surface, theta is the occupied fraction, number of sites, fraction of number of sites occupied. Then empty sites 1 minus theta. If total number is 100%, then say x% is theta. What is remaining? 100% minus x%. So in terms of numbers, it is 1 minus theta. 1 minus theta. Also, the rate of desorption is proportional to n theta. What is n total number of sites? Theta is occupied sites. So rate of desorption is directly proportional to n theta. N theta are nothing but number of adsorbed sites. Number of adsorbed sites. That is rate of desorption. Rate of desorption is equal to some rate constant for desorption kd into n into theta. And we know there exists an equilibrium between adsorption and desorption. Because of this equilibrium, we know rate of adsorption is equal to rate of desorption. Rate of adsorption is equal to rate of desorption. That means Ka into P into N into 1 minus theta, that is rate of adsorption, is equal to Kd into N into theta. N gets cancelled and we can take an equilibrium constant for Ka by Kd. P into 1 minus theta is equal to theta. Here K is equal to Ka by Kd. Here rate constants we need to use small k. Ka and Kd, this is small k. Whereas this, it is an equilibrium constant, it must be capital K. Equilibrium constant must be capital K. Rate constant must be small k. Or we can rewrite this as theta is equal to Kp by 1 plus Kp. I have skipped some of the steps. You just expand this Kp minus Kp theta is equal to theta. You make this minus this side, it becomes plus. So theta is common, 1 plus Kp. Theta is equal to Kp by 1 plus Kp. You can solve this. This is known as Longmuir adsorption isotherm.